If there is one thing Final Fantasy has always been known for, it has to be its iconic soundtrack. From the classic Victory Fanfare to the billion and one different iterations of the Chocobo theme, oh my god! Main series composer Nobuo Uematsu has produced bangers since before most of us were born. He made most of the music for the original Final Fantasy XIV, and then continued to aid lead composer Masayoshi Soken in bringing life and tunes to Eorzea and her people in the subsequent reboot. Soken has written and produced the vast majority of the songs for A Realm Reborn and the following expansions, and has in many people's eyes, including Uematsu Sensei himself, earned his place as a worthy successor to carry the torch of Final Fantasy's amazing soundtracks. Deciding which 10 songs I enjoy the most from A Realm Reborn was an almost impossible task, as so many of them are memorable in their own right. Deciding that I wanted to take circumstances into consideration too, some of the songs might not be bangers in and of themselves, but accompany parts of the story that gives me goosebumps whenever I hear them. So, to celebrate hitting 200 subscribers and over 1,000 views already, let's dig into the top 10 songs of Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. Number 10. Battle on the Big Bridge Reborn. Gilgamesh and his buddy Enkidu have been around the Final Fantasy series since the 5th entry, and he has played the role of villain, summon, sword-collecting triple triad master, and more. Generally a bit of a comic relief, Gilgamesh, or Greg, as he's affectionately known as in Final Fantasy XIV, made his debut during the Hildebrand questline of A Realm Reborn, and has since then made several appearances as both friend and foe. I have to admit, this theme is on the list out of pure nostalgia. One of the first Final Fantasy songs I learned on the piano decently, I do have a big soft spot for this crazy tune. It gets you pumped for, well, not the most challenging of fights, but hearing it for the first time in the game made me let out a shout of appreciation. Kudos for including this track in the game. Number 9. Twilight over Thanalan. Something you will notice during this list is that I'm a bit of a cheat, and this will be the first occasion for it, but definitely not the last. The truth is, originally this song played pre-A Realm Reborn in Ul'dah, but after the soft reboot of the game, it will only be heard during the intro when you arrive to the city on a wagon. At least during A Realm Reborn. Compared to some of the later songs for this jewel of the desert, this is a strangely melancholic and peaceful tune, and considering some of the later times we hear this song, it will definitely remain one of my favorites. I can only imagine how nostalgic it must be for legacy players who have stuck with the game since its beginnings. Number 8. A Curious Breed of Botherment. Probably the pick most people will find contentious, this Danny Elfman-esque little ditty takes you through a playful yet intimidating jaunt with the sylphs. It begins calm enough, full of wonder, but somewhere around the halfway mark the song takes on a more frantic, sinister tone, as the spirits of the woods pull you away from the mortal realm. While I'm not a fan of the sylphs and their primal, this song will still rank on my top 10 because of how unique it is and how well it conveys the playfulness and danger of this tribe. Number 7. Fallen Angel. I really wish I could place this song higher, because it is by far my favorite primal theme in A Realm Reborn. Yet Soken and Uematsu have made just too many bangers for it to place any higher than 7. Garuda is the last primal you face in the MSQ before your focus shifts towards defeating the Empire and their Ultima weapon. She's also the toughest, and despite your best efforts, you only barely manage to stall her before Gaius shows up and delivers the final blow. Although this is now a 4-player trial rather than 8, and for a veteran is a laughably easy fight compared to some of the later stuff, I will never forget the many times me and my party wiped against this feathery dominatrix as an inexperienced sprout. Number 6. torn from the heavens. This one will be showing up a lot in Final Fantasy XIV, and for a good reason, as it is one of the strongest battle themes of them all. It is a song that gets you pumped, no matter if you're fighting against Hydras in underground arenas or Imperials in the Castrum Meridianum, and it really captures the sense of heroism and desperate battle for survival against your foes. When this theme kicks in, you know you and your friends are going to be tested. Number 5. A World Apart. This is another one of those nostalgic kicks. Putting a very personal touch on the prologue theme from Final Fantasy I, this song first plays when you leave your home city behind to travel to the other two as an official emissary of your city-state. And as you board the airship, all the friends you've made see you off, and the well-worn, familiar, and emboldening notes kick in, inspiring you to greater heights as a brave adventurer chosen by Hydaelyn. And, at the very end of the MSQ for A Realm Reborn, as you stand triumphant having taken down the Ultima weapon, another rendition of this song plays, showing you, and the world, how far you've come from your humble beginnings. Powerful stuff. Number 4. Imperial Will. This theme, originally a part of 1.0, survived the transition to A Realm Reborn unaltered to absolutely no one's surprise. The first time you hear it is, amusingly enough, right after the previous song played. As you depart on an airship, so too do Gaius and his cronies arrive with their own, delivering the Ultima weapon to Eorzea and preparing to strike once again against the Grand Companies. Imposing, hard, and oozing malice, this song really drives home how frightening the Garlean Empire and its soldiers are. Number 3. Sultana Dreaming. There's just something about Ul'dah and its music. Even though none of my main characters have started in Ul'dah, I've always found myself drawn to her marketplace for crafting, which, if you don't know, is actually my favorite part of Final Fantasy XIV. I have spent countless hours enjoying this wonderful, calm theme as I craft away, thankfully not within hearing distance of the quicksand and its many naughty inhabitants. Number 2. Harbinger. Or at least, that's what I think it's called. Maebure, as it is titled, is another song from the 1.0 that was reused in A Realm Reborn. This song plays the moment you step into the waking sand and realize that nothing will ever be the way it once was. It is a haunting tune that helps establish well the second half of the MSQ of A Realm Reborn. No longer are you fighting to keep the peace in Eorzea, but to bring the Empire down and save your friends. While there are certainly more impactful songs out there by themselves, this song is haunting just because I haven't met a single player who forgot their experience in All Good Things. Seeing the bodies of your friends and allies strewn about and left behind like useless waste breaks your heart, and having to bury them yourself really drives home the desire for vengeance against the 14th Legion. And finally, we come to the number 1 song. You haven't forgotten to like and subscribe, have you? Pray click the button below, adventurer. I don't think it is any surprise which song I have chosen as my number 1, although I'm again pulling a fast one on you. This is actually the main theme of the original Final Fantasy XIV, although it does make a reappearance in the opening FMV of A Realm Reborn, as well as here and there in small snippets, and in several different rearrangements and versions that are connected to Louisoix and Bahamut. Indeed, Answers is by far my number 1 song for Final Fantasy XIV. Not only is it so soulfully sung by Susan Calloway, the memories connected to this song makes it almost unbearable, knowing how much was sacrificed to save Eorzea from the destruction that Dalamud and Bahamut would bring. Memes aside, Louis' legacy and his final sacrifice is such a selfless and brave act that it reverberates through the science ever since. And the worst part is that almost no one in Eorzean knows about it. In fact, I'm willing to bet a significant portion of players never finish the Cause of Bahamut and know what truly happened at the Cardinal Flats that fateful day. If you haven't finished that questline, go do it now, and give Alphinaud and Alice's grandfather the send-off that he truly deserves. And there you have it, my top 10 songs from Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. Did you agree with my choices? Are you frothing at the mouth from how wrong I am? Let me know which song you enjoy in the comments. And thank you so much for the support you have already shown me. And I hope you will stay by my side as we journey to save the Source from certain destruction again and again and again and again. May the light of Hydaelyn always guide your path, Warrior of Light.